Is January 12th, 2023. Okay. Well, yesterday on January 11th, 2023, I was in Meskers Park. I played that tape about this whole case has been Michelle, uh, Dave's girlfriend, my ex-husband's girlfriend, that agent's daughter's mental illness, and them messed up with drugs. This whole case has been about that. Okay. I played it while I was walking. They sold the login to my phone. They sold the login to the case. They've made millions off of it. Risked everything. Okay. Today, like I said, is January 12th, 2023. I went walking in Meskers Park for work just to distress. Kids pull in. Karen's Wolves here, the FBI informant. All this has been Dave's girlfriend making fun of her. They try to kill me. She's already mentally sick, mentally ill, extremely mentally ill. She admitted in front of Faith Family Church that she was watching me on the toilet. Okay. She admitted she had me raped and tortured, and she could have anybody tortured. She just had to ask those guys. That's attempted murder. That she almost had me killed, and she thought it was funny. She's mentally ill. I told you I got to thinking about when I went and talked to Dixie, my daughter-in-law. She's like, Melissa, my ex-daughter-in-law, that was in it with, did their little cheap stunt for Michelle and Dave. She had just left John, my son, and they knew my house was bugged because it was Michelle, the agent's daughter. Dave's girlfriend. They knew my house was bugged. Those little divas, my granddaughters, knew they were on tape and audio. John knew it. You know who didn't know it? Danny and Jen, and Josh and Dixie. They didn't know I was in protected custody. John knew. He knew about Michelle because that's Auntie Shell. He knew about Will. Those kids knew they were on tape. They knew they sold the login by Thanksgiving. They knew they were running it like a reality show, and it was their little TV debut. Going down there, the house wasn't meant for Grandma. It was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out, okay? And they knew that they got caught stating to Flora. They made everything up. They were games of pretend. Giggle, giggle, giggle. And they did their little TV debut. And Papa Will's reality show that was supposed to be a protected custody case. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Okay? The police confronted her right away in 18. It was Thanksgiving of 18. They confronted her. Okay? Confronted her several times after that. They knew they made everything up. 1 year ago today, January 12th, 2022, Walgreens, North Main, Sheriff John was one of my guards, a young guy with black hair and glasses. Stop goons at the door while those kids get custody. They made everything up. Mass and police are documenting games of pretend. Okay? Do you know one of the investigators said that they had wrote it up, that it was really sick. Those kids were willing to lie on me. And the only reason they didn't like me is I told them they had to take 2 bites out of their food before they got up. Because they'd asked for a plate of food. It's because a man, and then say, now you can throw it out because they're spoiled. It's like, well, you can take 2 bites out of it before I throw it out. My grandmother would have maybe set my butt in that chair until I finished it. I'm not mean like that, but I want you to at least try it. You just don't ask for somebody to serve you and then say, throw it out. But they were that spoiled. And how sick all this was that they were willing to lie on me just because I told them to take 2 bites out of their food. Dave and I actually talk about it, and he acknowledges it. I said, my other son would have spanked his kids for that. And would have. He would have spanked, Josh would have spanked Crystal for that one. Talked to me with such disrespect. So, yeah, it just documented me games of pretend. My whole family spoke highly of me. All this was wiped out. They have told people that, and plus they knew they sold a login, so everybody knows. So today in the park, some kids are in there and said it's Dave's girlfriend been running around having people make fun of her. She's mentally ill and she's tried to have me murdered. She bragged she had me tortured and she could have anybody tortured. Inside Faith Family Church. She's very mentally ill. They drugged the hell out of me, date rape drugged me. I'd had bruises, I was throwing up, lying to people. They had sodium pentothal reports, breaking in, stabbing me. They let some of their friends run experiments. They're mentally serial killers. And what makes it oh my God, I called the FBI hotline. We'll have an agent call you back. Because I had documented attempts on my life linked back to that church, and a member of the church telling more than 3 people it was them trying to have me killed. And people impersonating me and everything else. Okay? Yeah, that's an FBI case. Or, Secret Service, some kind of case. Even a big police investigation. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. And then I can't get out back because they're date rape drugging me. And then he goes up and tells on me. Dave already knew. He was dating his daughter. That agent from out of the area. I lived in Portage County. Should have went to Akron. I called the hotline. Stark County FBI task force in the courthouse of Canton should have never got my case. It wasn't his jurisdiction. But Dave was dating his daughter. He was the one where Dave was mad, where he tried to have me kidnapped. He tried to have me carjacked. Dixie and I talked about it the other day, that she remembers him laughing, taking off, and leaving me while that guy tried to carjack me. He thought it was funny. Where I was followed and rendered linked back to that church. The attempt to break in, he told the very place they knew where the security system was. He was the main subject. He actually tried to have me killed because he wanted Katie Brothers. He wanted her farm, but she cheats with Tim. Okay, and thinking he could just retire. And I'm too stupid to figure it out that it's him. I knew somebody was doing it, but I didn't know who. And he was so mad at me because I didn't die. When we got to think, we just bought our retirement home. Our retirement home. Been working on fixing up the other house, moving everything into the storage unit because we couldn't get a straight answer of when we were going to close on both houses. Worked my ass off to get him a retirement, us a retirement home, where it had 5.5 acres of woods. He could walk back and put a tree stand. He could bow hunt on his own property, 6 miles from one lake and 10 from another, where he likes to go fishing. And we're right where we could enjoy our lives and retire. Out in the middle of peace and quiet. Why would you hit your wife with a board in the face for just a comment of, oh, come on now, I could pick that up. Break her teeth and run off to the store and ask complete strangers to help kill her because you're mad she's not dead and you wanted that other girl. So he starts dating that crazy bitch. They're messed up in drugs, okay? They're messed up in drugs. You know, it makes you wonder. People that are messed up in drugs. Yeah, 3 days later. We're only up there 3 days when he hit me with the board in the face. 6 days. We were out getting stuff at the storage unit. Somebody kicked in my door to the wall. They put button cameras up. Stalking me. The new girlfriend, she's mentally ill. Photoshopping shower scenes in the other room is asinine. And then all of a sudden I'm so sick and dizzy, the neighbor has to help me mow the lawn because I almost pass out. I could mow the lawn at Lennox. I could go for miles of walks. Walk miles. I can run on a treadmill. And I'm so dizzy, I'm almost passing out. I'm waking up, I'm throwing up. I have bruises, and I'm sick as a dog, and I don't know what's going on with me. Because she's having her drug friends drug me up with date rape drugs, amnesia drugs. She's mentally ill. That's attempt to murder. Then lie to people that had sodium pentothal reports. She's mentally ill. Let me fix up the house, then bring back the original guy that tried to kidnap me and try to carjack me, to threaten to knife me, and have Dave say that his girlfriend's family owned the police so that I would call the FBI. And so he can grab it out of the area. And then bully me into a false statement of lying when I wasn't. November 24th, 22. Mercy Medical, I had food poisoning. I think the lady Canton officer talked to the nurse. Nurse said we all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for it on November 18, 22, 2 to 6 p.m. at Walmart 62 by the hair salon. There's a camera inside the hair salon and one right above it. Tape and audio. Well, all the tapes before were me and not her. Ha 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 ha. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. And it was all me and not her. Ha! High as a kite. Guys laughing with him. And they're making fun of these people. Jackass. Well, when I got food poisoning on November 24th, 22, I got taken to Mercy Medical. The nurse walked out, and there was a lady Canton officer walking around. It's either her or another officer. And said, we all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this. And she said, well, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. I found out those men even ran experiments on her. They need to realize how not funny this is. No one's even actually said anything bad about her before. My whole family spoke highly of me. They did. This has been Michelle's mental illness. And for that agent to risk everything by selling the police information to a protected custody case, grabbing a case out of his area, bullying me on a recorded line, and then opening a protected custody case and putting money in an account, and they said he stole it on the first day, embezzled all the money for himself. Was he in debt to those drug dealers? Or was his crazy daughter? Or was both of them messed up in drugs? This whole thing has been about their drug addiction and her mental illness. My daughter-in-law, Melissa, got corrected right away by the police that they knew they were lying. And they moved away. They moved away a long time ago. They live in Massillon. Their kids go to Massillon schools. Michelle has a voice alternator recorder saying, "Are you going to get me?" And I found out by Dixie she's lived there for years. Sean said she moved away when she moved out in May before we even moved up there. She hadn't even been a part of the community, and it's been Michelle pretending she's her. They had people pretend they were my youngest son, Danny, and that they were going to get an attorney go after me for a shower scene in the other room to make me look weird. Yeah, they're that sick. They bragged to me they did it. And to other people, they went to the police on them. They didn't think that was funny. They did that in stocking tapes. So I was telling Danny how they knew someone kicked in my door. They knew I was sick. They said, well, you're just working hard. What do you mean somebody was watching you? I told them what happened with that Eric, and the police have been looking for him for stalking me, that he was bragging that he photoshopped shower scenes. What do you mean he was photoshopping shower scenes? I said, to make me look weird. What do you mean? I said, you know those bruises, those giant ones I had all over me? Yeah? You were working too hard and bruised easy, right? I said, no, they were bragging they were date rape drugging me and hurting me. And he was breaking in and doing it, and they're weird friends. And they're like horrified the thought somebody would do that to their mother. They had no idea. Jen's like, if anybody ever said you did anything wrong, Karen, they would be lying. As if they defended me. They pretended they were Danny and Jen. It's Michelle's mental illness. And that agent is, what, like they said, the Walmart employees. Well, last time I got my hair done, they said the police realized they hired a bunch of drug dealers to do this to her. What makes it, oh my God? I called the FBI. What makes it, oh my God? It's Dave's girlfriend that her dad was the agent out of the area that grabbed the case that was doing it. That's where it's, oh my God, he's embezzled over $300,000 from the Witness Protection Program. He sold the Protect a Life for $25 a pop by Christmas, or before Thanksgiving of 18. And they said, well, found a different way to make money off of this. He's going to be selling the login for $25 a pop. Selling police information is 13 years. Drugging somebody is 20 to life. It's attempted murder. Torture is 20 to 50 years. So where this is her mental illness, and those kids in the park were laughing that it's Dave's girlfriend's making fun of her. She's making fun of me because she thinks it's funny trying to kill people. She's very mentally ill. People get wrapped up in drugs and they do insane stuff like walk into banks and shoot the teller and the guard and steal money because they have to have that money. How desperate and how much money did they owe these drug dealers that they would willingly put all their crimes in front of people? Think about it.